Then you could go in places like this and actually promote it a little bit.
Yeah. So take it away. Oh, should we try that other path? It's called the Rock the Wiersbus. So when we get into the woods, somewhere instead of going left, we go straight here. Right here. I don't think I've ever been on this trail. Huh. So we are in Ringle today at the Marathon County landfill site, riding their trail, and we wanted to do a video about getting some e-bikes. And no, you don't have to go buy the most expensive bikes you can find. Just go find something you can afford to beat up on, enjoy riding without worrying about damaging it, and whoops, and take some friends with. Oh, you lead it, I'll follow. My phone is tipping on me, but it's still working. So you can see these are Gravity Monster hub drive e-bikes with hardtail, and they're pretty inexpensive and pretty reliable. We bought them for winter bikes for the snow and ended up using them for the summer instead of the manual bikes, because it sure is nice having that extra boost to get up the hills. And could we have some really expensive bikes? Yeah, but these are here. The best bike to ride is the one you're on or the one you got. And I've said it before that when I was in the car racetrack days, if you got the coolest Corvette ever and nobody can keep up with your race against you, it's not really a fun day. But if you and some friends will have a bunch of old beater BMW 3 Series or Miatas, but everybody's on the same equipment, that's fun. So if you and some buddies can go buy the same basic bikes, just go do it, get out there. And an e-bike, instead of wondering, can I do this today, should I do this today, the question is only, do I have time? Because you can do it. You just change the boost level. These bikes have the Bafang 750 watt hub drive with 5 boost level settings. Level 0, it's a heavy bike, it's hard work. Level 1 pretty much puts you on par with the manual version of the bike. And I never really need to go over to level 3, as far as riding and pedaling. When you're on level like this, you don't really notice it, you don't get a boost. Where it helps is when you're on an uphill run section. And the difference between a hub drive and a crank drive, and a crank drive where you pedal in the middle, the crank drive can get away with a smaller motor because you're adjusting it with your derailleur and it's helping your pedaling. The hub drive is helping the rear wheel, so you're just working off the rear wheel and there's no transmission. Keep in mind your electric power drills don't have a transmission. Tesla cars don't have a transmission because electric makes boost from 0 on up. Boy, there's a lot of rock garden in here, huh? But with that, it sure is great to have the boost. Now, if you're going to go doing jumps like that and really hit the summer trails hard, you want to get that mid-drive. And for the mid-drive, again, there's Bafang has their 600 series and their 610. I look online. I think there's more of those. And now normally we'd go right here. That's the piece that we would come in on before. So we just took a different way in than we usually do. But anyway, I wouldn't be scared to buy Bafang because Bafang is like the Ford. They got more of them out there, more bikes in China, I think, than the rest of the world together, and they're the brand there. And it works. If you're going to go to a bike shop, you might get their house brand. So I wouldn't be scared to buy a Specialized or a Giant branded motor from a Specialized or a Giant dealer. But I don't know if I'd buy a brand that nobody's ever heard of over the internet and if it's going to give you trouble. Again, anytime you buy something, it's going to break and you are buying work. So buying these from Bikes Direct, Larry at Bikes Direct has been great. I crashed once and broke the front display off. He didn't have any in stock and got me right direct into Bafang and their website. Ordered it and was riding in a week. That's great. Had a situation where we tore the wiring out of the controller on one of these bikes and had to go through Bafang for support on that. And their US tech rep, Ricky, even got involved and helped get me the controller so we could get riding before the snow melted in winter. So I'm super impressed with Bafang, and I'd put them up for quality, durability, and support with anybody. And for price, way to go. The other big brands that you definitely can be confident in are like Bosch, Shimano, Yamaha, and again, the branded ones for the big bike companies. And the key on e-bike is make sure you get a decent enough rear derailleur, because either you're going to be working like this with the hub drive and you don't want to have pedal problems, or you're going to have a crank drive and all that power is going through the chain. So you don't want to try going with a Shimano Alera or a Livio or whatever they're called derailleurs. You got to get at least up to a Dior, I'd say an XT. And again, I hate when these websites say Shimano derailleur. It's kind of like saying Ford power. Well, is it Ford Focus or is it a Ford Mustang Cobra or a Ford Explorer? You know, doesn't mean anything being Shimano. There's really only two brands out there for derailleur components: Shimano and SRAM. Both of them are bringing all this stuff in from China, and both of them are bulletproof as long as you buy a high quality enough setup that it doesn't get wobbly and yuckly and come apart on you. In my mind, again, worst case, if you find the perfect bike but it has a Dior derailleur. Shimano, you could do that, but I'd rather see you go up to XT or higher. I hope I got that right. And on the SRAM, that's what these have. SRAM has some lower end stuff too that you can find at Walmart, just like Shimano. But they have, I would say, these have GX, G as in goat, and they've been bulletproof. Yeah, I've had to do some adjusting, but they've been pretty good. And that's the next level below that, I think, is called SX. And then they go up into their XLS and XL and stuff. But I wouldn't go lower than that. So make sure you get a decent powertrain. Make sure you get a decent rear derailleur. Other than that, bikes are kind of bikes. And get the frame to match your height. And just get a bike and go. And if you're debating whether you should get the cheap one or the expensive one, get 2 cheap ones. One for you and one to loan out. You'll have a lot more fun. And then you won't worry about it when you scuff it or crash or beat up on it. Like I said, the one I'm on right now, I've crashed it enough times that I tore off the front display, ripped up the grips, wrecked one of the brake levers, but it's all good because it's a low cost enough setup, and Larry over at Bikes Direct, he's got more of them. And he's not the only one. There's other folks out there doing online stuff, but you can kind of tell looking at the website, their volumes and what they got. The other thing I've noticed we've had more and more issues with, as other people have gone full suspension, their pedals are up higher except when they're bottoming after a jump. So we tend to do a lot more, can't remember what you call it, pedal grounding or